Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
JT, I see you back in kindergarten with your boogers.
Yeah.
Oh, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
What's happening, people?
What's up? What's
What's
up?
up?
What's going on?
Good.
Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
Yes, they do. I'm super excited. Always to share this time with you guys. What's happening? Y'all all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, I guess. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better, man. It's been a long few weeks.
And I'm always working on greater, so you know.
You are always working on greater. That is wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then look at this. This man right here, he cutting his beard off. I'm trying to grow mine out.
Look,
come on, dude.
It don't go back.
I know.
It is going back.
I'm catching up to you already. Jeez.
It don't take much for me, man. You know, I guess you be eating the right stuff.
Oh man, them vegetables, man. You got to keep a good diet. Good diet, man.
You need your spinach.
And it's DNA. You got to thank God for that. So
Yes, definitely.
I hear you, Popeye.
yeah, it's coming in. It's coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Ready.
Are you gonna let it grow back to where it was, or you gonna keep it low?
I'm actually gonna let it grow. I may trim it up a little bit. I wanted to change it up. You know, one of the things we can't be afraid of is change.
Exactly.
So people are like, "Oh, why you guys?" Like, well, you know, you got to change it up sometimes. You got to, you know, keep it fresh, keep it different. You know, we can't stay in our comfort zone. We got to be able to step outside the box.
That is true. Very true. So we always evolving and changing. So I went from big hair. Now I have the sleek, you know, cut short hair. And then I'm going to give me some more big hair at some point. So yeah, I get it.
I see you glasses. Yeah. She rocking that Egyptian silky. Got on her head.
You know,
it's my Cleopatra look.
With the glasses definitely enhance that look. So for sure, Cleopatra's on the list.
Well, y'all know blue is my favorite color. So anytime I find a blue frame, I'm good.
Ironically, all of us are wearing blue. What's up with that? Blue glasses, blue shirts.
Yeah.
Great minds. They, they sync up.
That's that synergy.
They sync up. Because this is us. This is us. This is what we do, you know. I'll be so glad when we like back in the for real kitchen with each other.
I was just talking to somebody about that today. That I was like, I really miss being in the studio, kitchen, and everything else. I miss it, man. I just need to be back in y'all's presence. I really do.
You know, stop it.
I'm loving the Zoom. I'm sorry.
See that France? He don't care. He like, just let me dial in.
Dial in.
Which is really surprising, France, because your love language is touch.
I know. And it's funny because I'm missing a lot of that touch. But I've adapted, and I get, again, going back to the comfort zone. You know, a lot of us had to adapt, and it's just finding a new way to connect. Like I do my meet up with the guys on Zoom and, have your FaceTime with different people. So it's been a change. We had to adapt. We had to change it up. We got to get outside of the comfort zone. So
Yeah,
when we do get back to it, we get back to it. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy what I got while I got it.
I guess that's true. So we do adapt and we do what we got to do.
Correct.
But just because I'm adapting, does that mean I have to like it?
Not always.
Not always. Not always.
Okay. I just was checking. Because we all have
no choice.
Yeah, we all have done, and we're doing what we have to do. We're thriving, we're surviving, we're doing all of that. But that don't mean I like it.
It's the new normal, man. I'm still trying not to get used to the new normal, but I guess I don't have any choice.
No.
Yeah. Although the way our governor is working, we are about to go back to pre-COVID, which is a little scary.
A little? A little?
Yeah.
Listen. I'm still wearing my mask. I don't know about y'all. And like I said in the past shows, I've been vaccinated, fully vaccinated. Let's get that right. But I'm still wearing my mask. I went to the store today, had my mask on, ready to go. Wipe my hands, my sanitizer with me. Because, we said this, it's not only that we're protecting ourselves from COVID, but there's other things that we are also eliminating from that, equation, which helps us too. Ensuring that we're in the best, the optimal health, possible. So we're not getting a cold or the flu, it's not just COVID. So.
Sure. Absolutely. So I honestly think those of us who are conscientious and concerned about ourselves and others, even once we get vaccinated, if we get vaccinated, I think some of us will continue to wear the mask regardless.
Yeah.
Always. Most definitely. Definitely.
Until they know more, until we know how many times this thing is going to mutate. We don't know. So I think people are going to continue to wear the mask. So let me put this plug in. My social services or Victory House Community Resource Center is doing a community day on Saturday at from 9 to 1 about just the vaccine education. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got DJ coming. We'll possibly have vendors, and then different people from around the city are coming just to help with the education of it all. And then our special guest is the Dr. Roberson, the Deputy Secretary of Health for the Florida Department of Health. So they're coming. Oh, thanks, Jamal. You can put it up. That is great. Great.
Oh, that's my girl too.
You know everybody.
Everybody.
Now, I'm so proud of her for obtaining that position. Good job.
So we're doing that. So if you guys are watching, want to come out, hang out with us, it's gonna be a good time. And we're also doing, this is the part that really gets me because y'all know I love this kind of stuff. We are doing a PSA video shoot. So part of, we actually received a grant for this. So part of the grant is to continue the education throughout. So we're doing a PSA video that we're producing. So come get in the video if you want to.
Video.
Come on, get in the video. So it's gonna be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. So that is my plug for tonight. And being the executive producer and the creator and one of the hosts, we could take those kind of liberties.
Of course.
We don't have to answer to nobody.
Right.
We got our own thing.
Of course, she would throw bossiness somewhere off up in there. You know, it got to show rear its ugly head.
It is not ugly.
Even if it got a new hairstyle and some
It
blue graphics.
Bossy is not ugly. You need to stop that. That is not ugly. I own my bossiness. It is what it is.
Listen, somebody got to lead. So if that's the case, lead the charge.
Right. So we got a viewer. Charles Richardson says
he finna say something crazy. I know Charles Richardson.
You do?
What is he about to say?
Jamal, can you put that one up? He said he's been socially distancing since 03.
I know him.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, some people needed that social distance.
Right.
Yeah, some people you needed to get a break from seeing certain folks, you know?
Oh goodness, that is hilarious. So
I hear you,
and still
how it was, how it is, how it's going to be.
Oh, well, he is definitely probably staying clear of a lot of viruses.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. I told you I wasn't playing before this thing. I carried my Lysol with me.
Right. Exactly.
Day to day.
Exactly. So that actually is not what we came to talk about, but hey, you know, we do what we do. That's why I love Kitchen Talk, because we just get in there and start throwing stuff in the pot. So today is May 20th.
Right.
And y'all know what that is, right?
Y'all don't know
what Emancipation.
JT.
I missed it. What you said, JT?
I said I went to work today. That's what the day was.
Hey, at least
but we know
Tommy, you got a job. You got a job.
Oh, so interesting enough, I read earlier this week or the end of last week that the city and county, it is now a paid holiday.
Paid holiday. I saw that. I was
thanks to Diane Williams Cox.
That's our girl. Hey, you know, you got to represent. Again, when you're in position, you got to do things that make a difference.
That make a difference.
So
what is it about? What is it about? Okay. So yes, you have the day off.
Right.
Is it the fact that it's recognized as a national, well, it's not a national day, as a city day at this point. Or is it the fact that you just want to give people a day off?
I really do think you have to recognize the day, right? We have to remember what has happened so that we don't repeat ourselves. Again, that's part of history. We got to remember what happened on this day. And it's important for us to remember that. Sometimes we got to stop doing what we're doing to celebrate, even if it's just to say, you know what, this happened on this day. And we got to reflect on that. I was thinking about that with Malcolm X's birthday. Which was yesterday. You know, sometimes you got to sit.
Really?
Yeah, we got to, you know, we celebrate MLK and his birthday and all of that. But, you know, Malcolm X has done so much too in helping push the movement. So we can't forget the moments in history. And that's what I think today represents. It's for us to remember. We celebrated May 18th. Haitian Flag Day, right? Big day. What's up? Not delay. You know, we celebrate, you know, the remembrance of what happened and how the first group of Black people were able to be free. The first enslaved Black people freed themselves from slavery. That's a big thing. You know, and to remember that from the flag, I think, again, it goes back to emancipation as well. We need to set aside the time to remember and to reflect, even if we didn't do anything that day. But that because of what happened that day, we can do nothing today. Does that make sense?
It does. And I guess I'm thinking, so when we talk about Emancipation Day, will it ever really be a federal day? Because that would mean that America will have to acknowledge that they enslaved people. Because in the history books, in some history books, it says we were indentured servants.
Correct. Once again, that's why it needs to be a federal holiday, because there's so many elastic clause is what they use to really talk about slavery and what happened during that time. But we got to come to Jesus and say this is actually American history. It's not Black American history. This is American history. This is what happened, and we need to, saddle up, be responsible, and move forward.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you calling me an indentured servant, then that means you owe me some money. Because indentured servants got paid.
Yeah, let's not talk about that, because we know we said that right there. You're gonna have that. You said that right there is a beating a dead horse that they've been beating for a long time.
and you know what? It's something that's already written. 40 acres and a mule.
It is written.
So it's something that you have to give. And if you can't give the mule anymore, the 40 acres, let's talk about something else that you can give. So that we can say, okay, we got our payment back, but we also can now move forward from that because you recognize you were wrong.
Right. And that's the part. Sorry, JT, go ahead.
I can go, the rest of my life without paying some taxes or something like that if that's what they want to do. I don't need to throw some things out there. I'll take, a nice little lump sum of money, but if they want to just do something for the Black folks, let's just go ahead and do it. But we know how this works. They'll continue to talk about it till we dead and gone, and it'll be what it is.
I mean, if you could give a stimulus package, you could give a stimulus package, you could give, reparations back to the people who literally built the country. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So let's call a spade a spade. We can talk about what that's gonna look like, how that's gonna look. And then as a collective group, we figure out what we're going to do with that, right? It's not just get it, but what do you do?
Yeah.
They knew that you give 40 acres and a mule at that time to us at that time. Oh, man. What would we do at this point, right? You got farms, you got schools, don't get me started.
Right. And so to get them to acknowledge the Emancipation Day, even if you don't say, then somebody's got to say, well, what is that? Well, that's when, you tried to, I don't know whether they tried to correct they wrong or not, because my understanding, and I'm not a historian by any means, but Lincoln needed some people to help fight a civil war. And so he said, if y'all come fight with us, I'll let y'all go. So was it really about us? Or was it about him?
No, it was about us.
In what way?
It was about us in terms of the reason why they went to fight was because you have these other states that, again, states in the South that said, hey, we don't want XYZ to happen. So because of that, we want to separate. Well, that's not how we work around here. We're trying to build a union. So, you're mad because we're telling you that the slaves is not the way to go. So, I mean,
and who are you to tell us that, boy?
Exactly. Exactly. So now, you're going to have free slaves join the fight to say, hey, we want to fight for our freedom as well. We're not going to just sit on the sideline while you fight for us. We're going to fight for it because we believe in it just that much as well. So it wasn't like, oh, Lincoln just went to fight. It was, we're fighting for what we also believe in, and that's our own freedom.
I guess I just sometimes wonder if it wasn't to his advantage or their advantage, would that have even been a possibility? You know how you just kind of feel like you need to examine people's motives, or does it matter? Does their motive matter if the end is justified?
Correct. I don't think they would have won the war without the slaves, the free slaves. Let's say that the free slaves coming in to help push the agenda.
They weren't free going into war, though, right?
To me,
they were free after.
Free. I'm saying that they were free because you're fighting for your quote unquote freedom, but you're a free man. You're a free man fighting. It's a difference between a slave fighting and a free man fighting.
You do realize
they were free.
In the North, they were free.
Oh, okay.
Black men in the North were free.
So
were they free or were they runaways?
They were free.
I mean, they were free if they made it through the Underground Railroad.
And see, that was the other problem. That was the problem. You had some states that were saying, well, you know what? They're free here, but then they go back somewhere else and they're not free. I was listening to a podcast, and that's exactly what they were sharing, was that you had free slaves or slaves go into free states because let's say the slave master at the time says, hey, I want to go to New York. But he's not going to go to New York with him and his wife and company by themselves. They're going to bring their slaves with them to help them do whatever they need them to do. When they get to New York, that slave is now free in New York.
I'm telling you, I'm bucking the system.
Exactly. So now, when you try to bring them back, they're like, no. I'm free up here right now.
No, I don't think so, because they had papers on them.
No, you're talking about slaves who were free, who had free papers. I'm talking about.
I'm saying what you're saying is if they went with their slave masters, they didn't have free papers.
No, they didn't, but they went into a free state. And under that free state, that person is now free based on the laws. And that's one of the main issues that caused the conflict between the North and the South. Besides, of course, money. Because when you take away the slaves, who's going to do the job? So it became a bigger issue in terms of, hey, I can't travel with my peoples, because if I take them here, you're telling me that this person's free. So I can't treat them like I want to treat them or do things like I want to do to them because, hey, in my state currently, you're free.
Okay, that part I didn't know. Okay.
Oh, there's so much in the history.
It is a lot. It's literally mind blowing.
Correct.
How people have treated another human being. It's really mind blowing. So when we talk about that, I wanted to get into this a little bit. So speaking of the Underground Railroad,
I think JT fell into the underground.
Hopefully he'll pop back in. So there is another Underground Railroad movie series, I don't think it's a docu-series. I think it's a movie series. Okay, so yet another one.
Why not?
So yet
another
one.
Why not? Again, we just
are we sick of it?
No, not at all. Not at all. To me, we don't even have enough.
Okay. So JT,
enough what?
Right. That's what I was about to say to you. So you brought up the Underground Railroad, and I was just saying that there's yet another Underground Railroad movie. I think it's on Prime or Netflix, or it's not. I don't know whether it's a movie or a series. Some of my former FAMU students are from the theater are in it. But it's another. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. So it's been a buzz, right?
Right.
So the buzz is Are we over it? Do we need another one? Or is it good? Or are we now about to be pigeonholed as Black actors for just these type of movies? Or is it good because we have work now? I mean, it's
Well, we
it's a
know how
lot. It's a lot to it.
that's the only way we're gonna win an Oscar. So I mean, if people gonna start taking them kind of roles.
Well,
Yeah, like Miss Daniels for the first Black female Oscar for her role in as the maid in Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hattie McDaniels, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
get your fool ass off my porch.
One of the things we got to do is continue to share the story. We got to write the narrative because others have done that and they've given the false reality.
Yeah.
We are now trying to fix. When you think of the Holocaust, man, there's so many movies, right? About Holocaust and what has happened, docu-series. They never forget. So why should we?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
So,
I'm from Miami. For those who don't know, and I went to Miami Beach in high school. A lot of my friends were Jewish, and there's a literally a museum to remind you. I mean, statues to remind you that this happened and this was an atrocity, and it was. But just as much as that was an atrocity, what our ancestors has gone through with slavery, Jim Crow.
Yeah.
I mean, we really should not forget. We really are just tipping the iceberg at that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just to me the beginning.
And I think for me, while I'll support it, I think it is a little traumatizing to kind of see that over those images over and over again. Yet I'm kind of
50-50
in the middle. Yeah. So part of it is I do like that we are telling the story now. So that part I like. But the other part is like, oh my God, how many times do we have to relive this in this way? Even though we ourselves were not there. But it's like this constant reminder of you as a human being were sometimes considered property or considered less than human.
Yep.
You were like the cattle.
Correct.
You know?
Less than that.
Right. So while you had a monetary kind of value, and you think about being a Black woman who is like the last on the totem pole, it can be a little traumatizing. And you got your guard up. Go ahead, JT. I know you got.
You ready for this?
Ready.
Ready?
No, I'm not. I'm not ready.
Ready?
I'm ready.
There are people that weren't even alive back then that are still mad that we are free. I see them every day.
This is true.
Did you not? The white kid in Ohio that got arrested for saying what he said, for posting something on Snapchat about a Black kid that said, "Why is this N-word in my class? Shouldn't he be in chains?" I mean, yeah. But up there, that is considered a hate crime, so they arrested him for saying that and posted that on. Yeah.
Once again, that's the reason why it needs to tell that we need to tell the story.
Yeah.
As I stated, when you talk about the Holocaust, man, they show the nitty, the gritty. I was just watching another docuseries where two twins went through. Oh, you can't even imagine what they put these people through. But then think about slavery. What we are seeing on TV is just that's the tip of the iceberg. They're not even getting to the deepness, the rape, the torture, the sodomy. I mean, all kind of things that I can't even say it on this camera.
Right.
It's like,
So is that like a double-edged sword though?
it's
And
not.
and I'm saying that because Charles brings up a good point. Imagine what the kid is being taught at home, right?
Correct.
So is the double-edged sword when we tell the story, then like you say, JT, the ones who weren't even born then, now they know the story, and do they take it and use it against us? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I understand what you're
That's
saying,
why I
but
say that's why I kind of
let's
feel
think
like it
about
might
this.
be.
Let's
Go
just
ahead,
think
JT.
let's just think about this. These people aren't racist. You are not born racist. Not, I mean, maybe your ancestors and all of them were born racist back then. That's what they was taught, and it was taught, and it was taught. They weren't even racist, but it was taught, and it was taught, and it was taught, and now it's being taught to you.
Right.
Yes, you grew up with black kids. I know white people that I grew up with that now I can't even believe some of the stuff that come out of their mouth that they post on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm talking about kicked it at their houses and stuff like that growing up. But I mean, I guess, if that's what you want to believe, and I know politics plays a big role into it. Since I've seen some people that got to talk about Uncle Joe and Joe in the hole and all this type of stuff, and I mean like people that I know personally.
So again, you said it right. It's manipulation. So
Yeah.
politics has been played. You have manipulation from the last president. I don't like to say his name. 45.
45. Agent Orange,
Agent whatever. That's that
Carrot Top,
manipulation
comb over.
because we're teaching. We're using our own thought process of what happened that time. We're not going off of the truth, as he would say, fake news. It's our own reality of what happened. So we need to again stick with the truth. That's why, again, as I stated, the Holocaust, and that's probably the best one I could share, is because they never forget. They never forget. They always remember. They always celebrate. There's always a new statue. Why? Because people like to change the narrative. So they we need to keep this fresh. Like this is what happened. We don't do that, and we need to work on doing that. That's why I commend them for doing the movie. I think they need to do more. We can't be afraid of seeing the ugly side. As I say with my students, you got to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And slavery in America was ugly. It was very
ugly. It was very ugly. And we continue to have the trauma from it.
Correct.
I mean, I was not a slave. My mother was not a slave. My grandfather was not a slave. But the trauma of it just gets passed down and passed down and passed down. And then what? We just supposed to be like,
it's
you
over.
know what? I need to meet Charles Richardson because he is like chiming in and just he need to be a part of the conversation here for real.
Charles Richardson,
like,
shout out to Chuck.
But he was like, but we just supposed to get over it.
Correct. But you don't say that to the Jewish community. You do not.
You only said to us.
Correct.
You only said to us. And then what's also interesting, and I'm finna go to the far left on this one. What is also interesting to me is now we are all of these other groups that we need to protect, and we still don't talk about how we treat Black people. Now there's this big push of protecting
the Asian community.
Right. 5 generations removed from slavery. You're absolutely right. Absolutely, Charles. So now we're protecting the Asian community. Now we're protecting the LGBTQAI and all of these, but Black people still getting killed in the street with a knee on their neck. And nobody really, we'll go out and protest about that, but it's not no big push to make that go over when we've been treated this way from the beginning.
Listen, that's why, and I like Joe. I voted for Joe, but that's one of the biggest criticisms he's getting currently, which is, hey, you counted on the black vote, right? You called on the black vote. You got it. We've been in this situation way longer than any other group.
Way longer.
Hate crimes, when you talk about, being victimized and mistreated, that should have been the first thing on the agenda. Let's put this in place. But it wasn't. That's why, again, the power of the vote is so important.
Right.
There are other things that they may work on, hopefully.
Right.
But again, we have to be the first to recognize the importance of our history, what happened.
Right.
That's why May 20th is important for us.
It is important. It is important to be recognized.
We got to be the first one to raise the banner and raise the alarm to say, hey, enough is enough, right? Now, they've had legislation for years to get a bill passed similar to the executive order that he put in place within the first few days, right? But within the window of the first 100 days, that executive order went out. But even before he was the president, when he was still sitting as a senator, a bill went out to protect Black people from what Asian people are dealing with today. And that was just a month ago, right?
Right.
You're talking about a month, maybe 2 months since January, or 3 months, 4 months. Man, Black people have been catching it left and right.
The boat.
From the beginning. Since we got, exactly. You got to acknowledge what happened to Black people in this country. I mean, from even, so you saying when we got off the boat, JT, honestly, when we got on the boat.
On the boat.
Right? So we always hear, I know I went to a PWI elementary school. I never heard about the other boat. I always heard about the Nina, the Pinta, and the
Santa Maria. Yeah.
Right. You ain't
talk about the Amistad.
The other boat that had slaves, Black people, Black African people in the belly of it, chained down and whatever to get them over here. You didn't hear about that, So I think, and somebody else said this too. What is being done for Black people, for African American people? And I know we keep saying, why y'all harping on that? Why y'all harping on that? Because when you label people of color, that encompasses everybody.
And that was the problem with that last bill.
I hate that term because, again, you're discounting that I am a Black woman. Right. I'm just a woman of color. No, ain't nobody colored me.
Right. So again, with legislation, it's always been inclusive.
Right.
Brown people, Black people, people of color, this is what we're doing for you. There hasn't been anything that says this is for Black people. Right. So again, it is something that really needs to be rectified. But until we do what we're talking about tonight, until we say, hey, I'm watching that movie and I saw that. Listen, Birth of a Nation, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. And people are like, oh, I don't want to see it and this and that. Listen, what you think you saw on there, and they showed some craziness, but on there, that they didn't even scrape the real brutality of what Black people went through during that time
in this country. And it needs to be. I'm sorry, JT, go ahead.
Now I was just saying that, it's so bad that when he made that film, I can't even think of his name, man. Is they pretty much blackballed him.
Oh yeah, they did.
They blackballed him in Hollywood.
Nate Turner. Nate.
No, his name is not Turner.
It's not Turner. It's Nate. What's Nate's last name?
ABC.
And they really did it because of an incident that happened when he was in college.
Right.
It didn't make no sense. Let's find a way to tear down the truth. because the truth is coming out in that movie.
Right.
Hey, and notice that whole thing that came out about him in college didn't really come out until that movie dropped.
Correct.
Parker.
Yeah.
Nate Parker. That's
Nate
right.
Parker.
Thank you, Charles. We're gonna have to have Charles on the show.
Nate Parker.
Man, y'all don't want Charles on
the to Gene Celestine, Gianni. These guys.
Charles, you're gonna have to join us in the kitchen one day.
Charles is a real funny guy too. I can tell you that right now.
That would be so. You know what? We should have a viewer on the show one day. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
really. I know a few people that said they wanted to come on the show.
Let them come.
We're gonna have a view. We gotta work that out. Viewer night. Viewer night. Yes. We'll let you know, Charles. We'll let you know. Absolutely. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, can I just say how popular we are right now? Everybody want to do something black or do something with a black person.
But you know what, Lisa? That's not new. That's not new. It's not new. They always wanted it.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
You know, this is the thing. There's no reason why we can't work together. We're already doing it. Right? We could do better. And that's the problem with, again, the legislation. And again, knowing the history. When you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. There's people who don't want you to know the truth because they don't want you to be better. They don't want you to know who you are, what you're capable of, where you come from. Why? Because then they can manipulate that and tell you who you are, what you should be, and where you can.
But it is something else, like all this money that's being thrown at HBCUs.
It's not enough.
All this, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. The other thing is, when you were asking a company about diversity, they were saying, "Oh, we can't find the people." All of a sudden, people getting job offers out the blue now. Oh, but I thought you couldn't find nobody. You know, I thought you couldn't find a black qualified candidate. You know, that sort of thing. So I do agree that it is very much a cycle. But here is what I think happens is we get complacent and comfortable and think that even this statement was made when President Obama was elected, that we're in a post-racial society. So I think we have to be careful, even with our popularity right now, that we don't get complacent and think that, oh, it's all over and we don't have to continue to fight. Because one of the biggest things that I felt, and this is just a Lisa opinion, one of the things that happened when President Obama had his 2 years in office was all of that racism that was just laying kind of on the surface. It just went boom.
Yeah.
And then you get to see really where America is, because then they vote in a 45.
Correct.
Where there were black people who felt like, oh, well, we in here now, and we don't have to do nothing else. And they got lazy and complacent, and here we are. So here we are 20, 30 years later, from a Rodney King to a George Floyd.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
But I thought y'all said it was post-racial society. You know what I mean? So we got to stay. We got to stay woke.
There it is. I'm about to say, you better say it. Say it. Because it's true. It's true. Again, going back to I'm hitting this thing with I feel like I'm beating a dead horse right now. But again, going back to our Holocaust brothers and sisters, they're alive. There's a lot of them that are still alive, and they're still telling their story. They never stop telling their story. One of my mentors, Dr. Osafil Anderson. Shout out to Dr. Dr. Anderson, my man. he still tells me his stories, how he had to pick cotton. We're not too far removed from that.
No, we not.
He's telling me stories where he had to, pick cotton. He was actually featured in the Tallahassee Democrat, so y'all check that out. Where he was racing with his brothers who could pick the most cotton. Dang. This is not too far. And then here's from the cotton field to Professor Emeritus at Florida A&M University.
Yeah.
One of the top math professors. This guy has a super mind.
Yeah.
We are not too far removed. And the one thing that I love is that he doesn't mind telling you that story.
Yeah.
And we have to hear it. If somebody just met him, they were like, oh yeah, he's just, such and such. No, he's gone through some stuff.
Yeah.
He can tell you some real experiences. And we, again, we're getting our new generations, new frame of thoughts because they have forgotten or have never learned.
Never. That's it right there, friends. It's the never learned, because the people that put the history books did not include that. If you didn't go to, and even sometimes if you did, go to a Black institution or a Black middle school or Black high school, sometimes you didn't get that
at all.
But what if they were being taught that and they just didn't listen?
That could be it too.
So,
here's the thing. They probably wasn't taught it. I know I wasn't. I'm telling you, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and the whole Columbus song, and a little Columbus skit. Yeah. And he discovered America, and you think in America this desert land.
I'm telling you,
it was a Columbus song.
How happy the Pilgrims were to see them, and they worked together, but they don't tell you that they put something in there and killed them off. They don't tell you that part either.
Correct.
Nah. So diseases. They brought the diseases with them.
We cannot leave out the ugly. We like to talk about the good. We rarely talk about the bad, but we definitely keep out the ugly. And that's what we need to bring forth, right?
Right.
Going back to the horse, when you talk about the Holocaust, they show you everything.
Yeah.
From the gas chambers to the experiments to the the bombings, they show you everything.
Right.
With slavery, you just starting to see the ugly. And as I said,
from us telling the story.
Correct.
Because we had at one time with vaudeville, you had depictions of, happy Black slaves. We happy to be out here, working for nothing. We happy. We happy, whatever. So with us telling the story. So we got to tell the story.
We do. And we have to have, I mean, even if it's like, I'm thinking of the Django with
Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm. Again, a very ugly movie, but they showed a side of what was really happening.
Was that a true? I never watched it. Was it a true story?
There was some fiction to it, but there was definitely some reality to it. I mean, they pulled in some of what actually happened during that time frame to make the movie.
When he whooped that white man.
We got to tell the story. We got to tell the story. We got to be able to, again, share it not just in one time frame, but it needs to be shared from generation to generation to generation. That's why I said we need more movies. We need more stories. We need those books, because in the classroom, you're right, they were using old books by people writing the story you wasn't even there. You're just making up what you felt happened during that time frame. We're still writing history. The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. I got that same song in kindergarten, from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade. Sang the song, Columbus Day, all of that.
Right.
Until you found out the truth. 1400
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Something.
That. All right. I remember now.
But where's the song for slavery? Where's the song for the impact? For May 20th?
Yeah.
Where is
Mama.
that song?
See what
Yeah.
these folks have done to me.
Charles,
Yeah.
Charles is hitting it.
There is not one, and I
So-
agree that we do have to continue to tell the story
We got-
because here's another thing. I heard DL usually say this the other day. As long as nobody gets to see it, then anything can be done. And he was pretty much talking about the fact that if somebody had not videotaped George Floyd and released it.
Correct.
Mhm.
So you have Aubrey, what's his name? Aubrey. What's the young man name that got killed by the two white guys?
Was it Jamal Aubrey? No.
I hate it. I can't remember his name. So
right on the tip of my tongue.
yeah, so his was kind of videotaped a little bit, you know, but then you have so many. Thank you, Ahmaud Aubrey.
Ahmaud, there it is.
You know what? I'm gonna have to take Charles and his family to lunch or something.
Hey, listen, he got two growing girls.
Oh,
yeah, man.
So here is one that you kind of got a videotape of, but you didn't get a videotape of. You know what? Why are names escaping me today? Breonna Taylor. You didn't have a videotape of that one.
Correct.
And so who gets to tell the story? You know?
Well, you didn't have the videotape of Zimmerman.
Right.
And he gave his story. He gave his story.
Who gets to tell the story?
Because he was the one alive.
The baby is not here.
He can't tell what happened.
He can't tell us what happened. Unless we have a seance.
Once again, that's, you know, I didn't like, and I still don't like what a lot of these states are doing in terms of changing the laws so that you can't videotape, so that you can't have a camera in your car, so that they can do what we know they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
The reform has to happen. And even after it happens, we still got to be vigilant in terms of saying, hey, just as much as you're doing your job, we're doing our jobs too.
Right.
Because we hired you. The state is paying for you to, that's the crazy part about all of this. You're paying for this to happen.
Yeah. You paying somebody to kill you for
That don't make no sense. We paying you.
It makes no sense.
But we accept it. Again, we got to get to the place where we say enough is enough.
Yeah.
Where we remember that history, where we get on the board and say, okay, it's time to make a difference. It's time to start stepping up and stop all of the, you know, hiding and forgetting and changing the narrative. All of that it's a done deal for that at this point.
Yeah. And if we don't, we're gonna continue to repeat this cycle.
And that's
I feel like, even though I haven't been here before, because I wasn't here necessarily during the civil rights movement, but I feel like we repeating it. We get so far and then we got to repeat the cycle. We got to repeat the cycle.
Every other year we got to march about something. And we still marching. They were marching back then, we're still marching.
Yeah.
You just said Rodney King earlier.
Yeah.
And we still doing what we did for Rodney King.
Yeah.
We still doing it. And it don't make sense. At this point in our history, we should be way beyond this. But people have to recognize they're wrong. And they have to accept it. And we have to be able to say, okay, now that we have gotten to this point, we can move forward.
Right.
But as I stated on the show before, until you deal with that evil, until you deal with that evil, because that evil was giving the opportunity to keep living.
Right.
When they did not destroy that evil during the Civil War, it just kept going. The people who were responsible for that hate, as we were talking about, the people who kept perpetuating that hate,
exactly,
a lot of them didn't die. They didn't go to jail. They weren't prosecuted. They got their properties back, and they were given position.
They got the 40 acres and the mule.
Correct. The stuff that we were fighting for, which we should have gotten, right? When it comes to a war, that's what happens. The winner gets the spoils.
Gets the spoils, but we did not get the spoils.
We still waiting for the spoils.
Or even when we built up our own spoils, they came in and burnt that down.
Burnt it down.
Jealous. You know, build a town. You built your own town. You building you from nothing to something. And somebody's still coming. That's why I say, you know, you can't.
We just over here not bothering nobody living our life.
Trying to live the best way we can. The best way we can. Luckily, and I will say this, I need to say it. Luckily, we still have people that are not the same color as us, that are not from the same nationality, that believe in the process, that believe in what we're doing, and that believe that, you know what, there was a wrong that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about white folks.
Right.
I'm talking about people from different nations who know and believe and see the injustice.
Right.
Luckily,
we are
willing to stand up.
Right. So we are intelligent people, right? I am intelligent enough to know that it was not physically you that enslaved me. But it still needs to be acknowledged. And I've said this before too, until there is an acknowledgement and an atonement, we're gonna keep going this. We're gonna keep going this. I'm hoping that this next generation, our kids, would, you know, push a little further. I think we might be pushing a little further than our parents did and then their parents did. But also in that, and I want to try to end on a happy note, and we got to find me a joke or something.
No, also, don't do it. Don't do it. That's the problem. Lisa, that is the problem. We make light of it. We make jokes of it.
No. I want to talk about a joke about that. I'm just saying.
I know what you mean.
So the other thing is, we keep pushing, but some of us are exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
All of this. And I know, don't get me wrong, I know we got to keep going. I know we got to stay woke. I know it. But oh my God, can we have a nap? Can we take a break? And
I'm going back to the horse. We
can't take a break because honestly, we kind of took a break during Obama.
Correct.
What happened?
Correct.
That was our time to sleep. It was like, okay.
Oh, we gave you Obama. You didn't give Obama to nobody. Obama was voted in. Let's get that first. Number two.
Popular and electoral.
That's number one. Number two, we still fighting. That's not even a goal. That's not even a win. That's not a win. He said it himself. I'm a president for all Americans.
Yeah.
But what happened to the subject that's still on the table? It's been on the table before he became president. It's on the table right now. And we elected a new president to deal with this particular.
And is that because we have been able to do some of that?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. When Obama was president, right? The Republicans controlled the Senate and the House. So what could he have possibly done? They were going to go against everything that he did. He let us get a little stimulus. They was like, okay, yeah, we'll let him get that. Then he brings something else. Oh, too much. Nope, not that. Can't have that.
True. But at the same time, you had another one that came in and just was executive order for all this craziness.
But again, the executive order is not law. And that's the issue. What we were trying to push was actual law.
Right.
That's why the executive order that was given for the groups that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, but the executive order tore down a whole bunch of stuff, though.
the executive order was in place, but we need the law in place.
Yeah.
So that you can't go past the law, because once the president leaves, they could change the order, executive
Right.
order, which he did.
Right.
So we need to put the laws in place to protect people, Black, Asian, white, gay, protect the people. That's what we hear. I mean, we paying people to protect the people.
And they're not doing a good job.
Lisa, we cannot forget. We cannot stop fighting, because I'm going back to my peoples again. My Jewish community, they never stop.
We cannot forget. Absolutely.
They leave money behind to remind the next generation of what happened.
Yeah.
They would never, that's the thing, never forget.
We can't forget.
Never forget.
So this is probably a whole nother kitchen talk as to why they want us to forget. But
we still can't forget. We still got to be reminded to remember 9/11 though. But we need to forget slavery. Never happened.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Listen, the hour has been well spent. Oh my goodness. So shout out to Charles Richardson,
aka Chuck.
You're gonna have to be our first viewer guest when we get that set up. We will definitely reach out. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button. So glad you all joined us tonight. This was a good conversation, and we got to continue to have them, y'all. I know we might be tired, and here it is again, and yet again, and yet again. But hey, until things literally, for real, figuratively, all of that, until they change, we're gonna have to keep having this talk. We really are. We're gonna have to keep having this talk. And so here's my shameless plug one more time, Jamal, if you'll put my flyer up. Listen, if you are still unsure or uneasy or any of that about the COVID-19 vaccine, come out to Community Day presented by Victory House Community Resource Center from 9 to 1. It is 1478 Shares Crossroads. You can also check out the website www.victoryhousecrc.org. So we'll be out there having a good time. Come be a part of the fun. There's food, there are vendors. It's just going to be a good time, and you can get your questions answered. I will be there because I'm going to get some questions answered because I have not yet been vaccinated, and I have not yet totally said that I'm going to get vaccinated. So
I'm with you, Lisa.
Deputy Secretary of Health for the Florida Department of Health, and see if she can help get me over
a little nudge.
We can get you a high seat so you can get over there.
You know what? JT, have you been vaccinated?
No, I just said I'm with you.
Okay. Well, you might need to come out and talk to the Deputy Secretary of Health too. Listen, thank you guys so much. Shout out to Jamal, our engineer in the background. Appreciate you, bruh, so much. Thank you, JT, for hanging out with me. Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
Yes, they do.
Lisa got to go and find a nail to hang a wig up on. So we got.
No, I don't.
Oh, you sold that one in? I'm just joking. Don't
everybody know this ain't my hair.
All right, then. I
don't fake it with none of it. When I wear my hair, y'all will know it's my hair. When I don't wear my hair, y'all will know it ain't my hair. I mean, it's just hair.
It's yours, regardless.
It's yours. You paid for it.
I bought this one. I bought this hair. But
it's yours.
Anything to enhance the cuteness. There we go. All right. So good to see you guys. Next week. Next week, and the guys don't even know this yet, but it will be an all guy show on male mental health, Black men and mental health.
Mm.
So come check it out. Hang out with us. Well, with them, I won't be here.
Man,
So next week is it. The guys are taking over next week. They just found out, y'all. They just found out.
that's crazy, right? I didn't even know.
Surprise!
So the guys will be taking over the kitchen next week, and I'll be on vacation.
And whatever. Whatever.
Have a
JT
great
Charles
time.
say he'll holler at you at some point. JT, you heard me?
Huh? Just past my bedtime.
I know. Charles said, I'm going to holler at you, JTP.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's what's up, Chuck. You know, you got my number.
All right. So thank you. We'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.